Right, so before we begin this job, we're going to extract the refrigerant that's already in here. So you can see I have a AC machine up here hooked up. If you don't have a way to extract it,
Thirsty for an edge at the tables? Master Blackjack, count cards like a pro, and calculate poker odds, all in one app. Drink it all in with Table Edge, your ultimate casino strategy tool.
maybe ask one of the shops, or I heard that some of the auto parts stores will actually rent out a vacuum pump that might be able to help. But find a way to extract it, because the reason is if you disconnect those lines on the compressor, then all that refrigerant will go up into the atmosphere, and that's against federal law, so we don't want to do that. We're going to extract it first before we continue. Alright, and if you plan on extracting it, the high side port's right here. The low side port is right over there. It's on the accumulator on this one. So we got our lines hooked up, and we'll see how much we get out of here. Alright, and it looks like we're all done extracting. So as you can see, we got about half a pound out of this one. So there's signs that there might be an AC leak. I was told that the customer had this serviced about a year ago. And as you can see, this diesel will use 1 pound and 14 ounces to fill, so it's less than half. So we might have to look into that, but for now we'll swap out that compressor. So begin by removing the belt. You can get a ratchet down in here onto that tensioner. It's hard to see, but there's a 1/2 inch square right there. And I put an adapter on this ratchet. Pretty much get to it, and then you pull towards you. And as you pull it towards you, that belt will loosen up, as you can see. So you'll pull it towards you, and then use your other hand and get this belt off that compressor. Alright, and with the belt off the compressor, leave the rest intact. Don't take out the belt all the way. That way you can just slip it back on while the belt's already routed. So next, there's this connector right here for the compressor. This red tab right here, you gotta pull it downward towards you. You gotta unlock this piece first by pulling it down. I'm gonna use some pliers to grab it and then pull it on it. Make it easier. Alright, so I used some pliers to pull in this tab. It came out completely, but that's fine because we can push it back in. Alright, with that red tab removed or pulled out slightly, squeeze on this tab right here, and then pull down on the connector, and it'll come off. Alright, now that the refrigerant's extracted, go ahead and remove this 10 mil right here. It's the one that connects to the backside of the compressor. As you can see, we have a little bit of leftover pressure, but that's fine. It'll stop shortly. There we go. Alright, with the bolt removed, this will slide out. Just kind of leave it out of the way. It's not really in the way since this comes down straight down, so let's continue. Alright, next remove this 13 mil and that one. There's 2 more on the top. You can kind of see it through up here. There's 2 more. But the nice thing is you have these 2 access holes, so you can use an extension and with a 13 mil and get to it through there. For the top 2, you can get through them through down here. There's some space right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there it is. I got a 3-inch extension on a small 13 mil, so you can get to the top 2 through right here. And remove the top 2 bolts completely. The bottom 2, just loosen them up all the way, but I think those will come out with the compressor. Alright, and we left these 2 loose, so this one's almost out. It's pretty much out. That one's still a little in there, but hold this compressor with one hand as you loosen this other one. That way it just doesn't drop. And then after that one comes out, it should come down. Alright, and there it is. It's all out. Here's the new compressor. It's over this part. Read the paperwork that comes with the compressor you bought. Some of these units will come pre-charged. This one does. But if yours doesn't, then this is where you'll put the oil in from. Rule of thumb is usually to put about 3 ounces on these compressors and then turn the bolt on the shaft in order to get it to circulate. We're ready to go back in. Remember to put the 2 bottom bolts in as you go up with the compressor, because you won't have enough room to put them on once that compressor's in its spot. So yeah, this one you can kind of just guide it down through here. It should slip back on pretty easily. Before you put that top line to the compressor back on, make sure to replace these washer O-rings on them. It should have some on the line, so you can just kind of remove these with your fingernail and put the new ones back in. Give it a little wipe too. We got the new O-rings on. I'll just tighten it down. And start all 4 bolts by hand. So hand tighten them first to get them started before you tighten them down. That way you know everything's lined up properly. Everything's bolted down. We got the connector back on. Now let's just get this belt back on. It's already kind of in its place. So I think just by pulling down on it, we should be able to slip it back on how it was. There it is. And all I did was grab my ratchet right here, pull it down, and I was able to slip the belt back onto the compressor where it was. And we didn't remove it all the way, so everything's still back on where it was. So yeah, do it this way. It'll save you a lot of time. There it is. Well, we're all done. So to finish this up, we're going to hook it back up to our AC machine. We'll put it under vacuum for a few minutes. Make sure it holds vacuum for at least a good 10-15 minutes. And as long as it holds vacuum, that means that those heels we tightened down are all good and proper. And yeah, all that's left is fill her up after that, and yeah, we should be done. If you don't have a vacuum pump to do your vacuum test, you can rent those over at O'Reilly's or AutoZone. Heard they rent out the vacuum pumps to do this part. But that's pretty much it. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. This is Tony Torx, and later.